Hey, so I thought I'd get away from complaining about my social life, and I thought it would be fun, maybe for my kids who might watch this later, um, just to share memories and stuff, things that I thought were really cool in my life. And I just came across a photo, and I thought this was pretty cool. I have a photo of two concert tickets that I went to back in California, where I grew up, and we had this thing called Day on the Green, and every summer I think they started in the late 70s. Every summer they would have like five bands play all day. And I remember that when we first got there, it was still morning. I think we rolled in around 9, 10 in the morning. You stood out in the parking lot in this long line and they would check you for your drug paraphernalia, alcohol. I know a lot of that shit got through because even as, I think I was 13. Yeah, I was 13. We got pot brownies in there. I mean, the place is such a mess that I remember because this was at the Oakland Coliseum in California. And I remember that as the day went on, and this was in the summer, like the first one I went to was, I had pulled up the info on my computer, is September 2nd, 1978. And the, the band, so the opening band was AC/DC. And right after that was Oyster Cult, and then Cheap Trick, and then Journey, and then Ted Nugent. He was a headliner because he had just come out with his Cat Scratch Fever album and his top hit, and so he was kind of the man at the time. Um, it was crazy. That concert is actually on YouTube. They do show AC/DC. I found it just randomly going on a search, but that did have Bon Scott, the original um, lead singer of AC/DC, was there. And I gotta be honest with you, I didn't really know much about AC/DC. I heard their songs, but I wasn't like dialed into them until later when I was in high school. And the Back in Black came out, and that's when it was. I mean, tops. Everyone was listening to it. It was like our anthem. But at the time, they were kind of new to me, and I would remember going. Number one, they were so fucking loud. I was like, I couldn't really understand what their songs were because they was so loud. And then I started hearing songs like, wait, so I've heard this one before. And all of a sudden they started jamming. I was like, God damn, I know these guys and they were really awesome. So, um, anyway, for anybody who gives a shit. So these concerts, so they had a bunch of them during the summers. And we would going in the morning, and me and my friend, we didn't go out because it would be laid out like in center field and they have a big stage. And I know a lot of people have gone to these Monsters of Rock and things like here in Texas now, back in the day. But they'd have the entire baseball field laid out there, and and they would cover up the infield and stuff so it wouldn't get damaged. But I mean, it was a fucking free for all. I remember halfway through the concert, it was really hot, and there were a lot of like water balloons. They were using the big, it's like a slingshot, but it took like 3 people actually to activate it because they were so big. And they would shoot them up into the bleachers and stuff. But I just remember that the dugouts were basically like a triage unit for overdoses because so many people were getting fucked up on everything that I was not into. Me and my buddy, we strictly smoked pot, and that's about as heavy as I ever got into, really. So seeing these people just like completely passed out and vomiting from whatever they were taking, it was pretty intense. It was quite the exposure to a world that I knew right then and there that I wasn't down for. I didn't want any part of that. Yeah, pot's fine for me. So anyway, yeah, those five bands, that was my first concert I ever went to. And to see Ted Nugent, Oyster Cult, who ended up being like my favorite band all through high school. I know Def Leppard came along later and kind of took over, but so Ted Nugent, Oyster Cult, Journey, fucking legends, and then AC/DC and Cheap Trick. I actually saw Cheap Trick twice. The second concert I saw 2 years later, they were there as well. And that had Molly Hatchet. Shit, I'd have to look it up. Foreigner was there, and um, Iron Maiden was the headliner, and that was Ozzy's last year touring with them. So that was kind of cool. I mean, obviously you didn't know it at the time, but that was pretty cool. So I went to two of those concerts. Both of them were freaking amazing. And I just remember that when I got older, I would start going to like arenas and stuff. And I thought arenas were great. They were indoors. They always felt kind of, I don't know, it's just different. It's different when you're watching music outside. And it was kind of cool because we were in a stadium, so you couldn't just wander off. Um, you were all kind of there, so you just kind of accepted the fact that you were in this place, you weren't going anywhere, and you were going to be there all freaking day long. So you never knew what you were going to run into. Weird thing is, I don't remember if I ate anything. Um, I mean, I was 13 years old. I went with a friend of mine, and I don't know if we even brought money. I mean, I think we brought a jug of orange juice and our brownies, which we passed out to the people in the stands. But shit, I don't know if I went the whole day and I was just going on pot brownies and orange juice as my energy, but because they didn't have concessions, so I don't know. Obviously, my memory sucks. Um, anyway, that was my first concert, and it was a really good one. So I've gone to some pretty good ones. I haven't gone to a lot of concerts. I'm not one of those people that's going to sit here and brag that I've been to this, that, and the other, and I've seen everyone. But who I've seen, they were pretty badass. So anyway, that was my first one. Not a bad group to be number one. So there you go. So for probably the only 2 or 3 people that'll watch this, and maybe half of them are my kids, there's one memory. September 2nd, 1978. Dad's first concert. All right.